Now, I've said this once and I'll say it again, but Lucasfilm is by far the worst division over at the Walt Disney Company for multiple reasons. The biggest one of all is the fact that you have Kathleen Kennedy running the show as the president of the company and the one calling the shots on every single project moving onwards. And we already know that she's trying to basically extend her contract until 2027 to have a couple of major hits before leaving on a higher note there. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, the Acolyte series concluded a couple of weeks ago. It was a utter disaster by Lucasfilm, by those like Leslye Headland, who by the way looked up to The Last Jedi and Rian Johnson as a form of inspiration to create the Acolyte. That's why you see a couple of sprinkles of The Last Jedi in the Acolyte show itself. But what's interesting about this moving onwards has a lot to do with actress Amandla Stenberg and the ongoing drama happening over at Lucasfilm HQ and the Walt Disney Company, in the midst of all the drama happening after she got removed and fired from multiple Lucasfilm/Star Wars projects. Let's discuss. Now, what's interesting about this is that we know that Amandla Stenberg is one, of course, of many at Lucasfilm that is very egotistical, that is very self-absorbed, that cares about nobody other than herself and her position over at Lucasfilm. Sounds like someone familiar, right? Much like Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland over there. But what's interesting about this has a lot to do with what's going on with the overall drama between herself, Bob Iger, the Disney executives, etc., and it doesn't make Lucasfilm's situation any easier at that point. Now, with Lucasfilm now considered the worst division at the Walt Disney Company, those like Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland have been in endless damage control over the backlash from the Acolyte. Now, one major development now has more to do with actress Amandla Stenberg, who is getting ready to take legal action against the Walt Disney Company after she was fired from multiple Lucasfilm/Star Wars projects after her music video drama from Instagram and the underperformance of the Acolyte series, along with other factors that came into play from Disney CEO Bob Iger. A significant update to this situation now involves how Amandla Stenberg is already beginning to blame Disney for firing her over her race and her background as one who is part of the LGBTQ community, in particular, one that considers herself non-binary, and believes that her getting let go from various High Republic era Star Wars projects were done in an unprofessional way coming from Bob Iger and the Disney executives, and claims that those projects were promised and grandfathered in with her contract, when on the other hand, Disney executives claim that her contract was not final. Already, Stenberg is now giving Disney a serious warning that she is just about ready to officially move forward with a lawsuit of some kind if her projects are not reinstated to the Star Wars slate. Those like Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland are also standing up for Amandla Stenberg in the midst of the ongoing shakeup that's been going on between Lucasfilm and the Disney Company, specifically growing tensions between Kathleen Kennedy herself and the Disney executives, including Bob Iger. It turns out one of the major factors that played a role in Stenberg losing her many roles at Lucasfilm had to do with Disney executives warning Amandla to take down her music video on Instagram multiple times, or else they wouldn't be able to work with her any longer moving onwards for many of her cameos and other High Republic projects, both in live action and animated form. Characters like Osha and May were, of course, planned to have multiple adaptations in different formats, either as major characters or returning as cameos under various projects that were supposed to be handled by Leslye Headland. Now, in addition to all of this, Stenberg is also blaming the Walt Disney Company for providing her false promises in her contract deal. The main reason why she is now attempting to move forward with a legal case against those like Bob Iger and the Disney higher-ups is that she claims her multi-million-dollar deal was set in stone. And we'll get to that in just a second, guys. Now, let me just stop here quick before I move on. But what's interesting about Amandla Stenberg is that she believes that she's all high and mighty, that she is way above everyone else, even those like Daisy Ridley, that she should get multiple millions of dollars in her multi-million-dollar deal, essentially. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but Daisy Ridley did not obtain anywhere near close the payout that Amandla Stenberg was supposed to get in her contract deal. which I think is, you know, something that is very much Disney, very much Lucasfilm. Coming from Kathleen Kennedy, it's not a big shocker there. But when you look at those like Amandla Stenberg, who in my opinion is far more inexperienced than Daisy Ridley is, it really makes no sense about the margin that they initially agreed on of what Amandla was going to get for multiple projects all in one. We'll go over that in just a second. Now, what's interesting about this is that she is already blaming Disney and basically playing the race card and saying that, you know, a lot of it had to do with her background as part of the LGBTQ community, when in reality, a lot of this had to do with the music video drama. You guys may or may not know what I'm talking about, but there was a music video that she dropped on Instagram, really just taking shots at Star Wars fans, taking shots at fans that had a very big problem with the Acolyte, critics that really had various issues, and valid issues, I must add, about that show by leslye Headland. Now, let me just move on here. Now, the multi-million-dollar deal that is now officially no longer moving forward reportedly was going to be as high as $15 million altogether, spanning different movies and TV shows that would adapt Osha and May. Now get this, Kathy and Leslie's plan initially was to essentially make Osha and May the new modern version of the Skywalker twins, Luke and Leia, even though they are not referred to as twins as per Soul in the Acolyte. So they've tried to basically make these two characters the new Skywalker twins of the modern Star Wars by Lucasfilm, and that did not work out. Now look, it makes no sense as well, because you have a character like Soul in there that says, you are not even twins, you are the same person, which is really confusing, because if you're gonna say they're the same person, well, with our very own two eyes, they obviously are two different entities physically, you know, that have their own opinions, that have their own decisions that they made throughout the course of the entire show. It just makes no sense, and I feel like it was just Leslie's lazy attempt at creating a quote-unquote shocking twist and or turn, right? But overall, there's a lot of serious problems happening right now over at Lucasfilm. You got the Gina Carano lawsuit that is being funded, by the way, by Elon Musk, and Kathleen Kennedy is reportedly going to get a subpoena to go into court to testify. That's going to be a very big deal, a very big problem for the Walt Disney Company. That's why there's a lot of Disney board of directors, around half of them, calling for Kathleen Kennedy to finally step down before her contract renewal. And that's another subject for another time. We'll talk more about that. But yeah, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this, because Amandla Stenberg really comes across as someone so egotistical that she believes that she deserved $15 million for a couple of cameos across multiple TV shows focusing on the High Republic, and some movie roles here and there that were supposed to focus on the High Republic as well. So Daisy Ridley didn't get anywhere near that, especially with The Force Awakens. Go ahead and look that up. But I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.